Everything's fine on 93.9 Dublin South FM.
Jai Hind friends, welcome back. Today we are celebrating 78th Independence Day, and therefore we are going to talk about our country's journey, our India's journey through the time since 1947. This is time to celebrate, and this is time to understand how remarkable our transformation has been. This is time to celebrate our independence from the British colonial rule, and also to resolve and to learn the mistakes that India did some 250 years ago, because of which India lost its freedom. We lost our freedom. So thank you for joining, and to celebrate, I have chosen 6 elements of India, 6 qualities of India, which broadly paints the development, the aspirations, and the progress of India for last 78 years. India has evolved as a multifaceted, economically, educationally, scientifically, technologically, politically, and with exceptional defense capabilities. It's a monumental progress, and it only underscores how far a nation has come while staying rooted in our values, our Indian values and traditions. So the first element I would like to talk about is the economics. And India has grown from the agrarian struggles to a powerhouse, a global powerhouse in agriculture. Since 1947, when India emerged out of the shadow of colonial rule, it was primarily an agricultural economy and a very fragile industrial base. It was no more than a cottage industry. At the time, the agriculture employed 70% of the population, and it was mired with inefficiencies, low productivity, and over-dependence on monsoon, and poverty was embedded into the society. But then, today, our agriculture path is much more stronger, is much more resilient, and we are producing in excess of food grains. And not only are we consuming it ourselves, feeding our population, but still able to export it wherever necessary. Today, we are 5th largest economy globally in GDP terms, and our services are contributing to 54% of GDP, and we have diversified our economic base into industry, into agriculture, into services. This is not easy. Our foreign reserves are standing over $600 billion, and that is a strength of economics, of our economic policy. India's economic policy, the policy of prudence, the policy of savings, the policy of expenditure, which is scrutinized irrespective of the government, that policy has allowed the country to manage successfully the external shocks much better at the time of global financial crisis of 2008. Also, we are able to manage the disruptions, the economic disruptions due to COVID-19 pandemic. Over the years, India has developed an extensive network of roads, railways, airports, one of the largest in the world. And there is a seamless connectivity across the country, east to west, north to south. We have built more than 50,000 kilometers of national highways. And the metro rail system in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, they are world class. The kind of load that they carry is second to none in the world. We as Indians have adopted to the digital technology, to the mobile technology, and there are 70 crore internet users in the country as we speak today. And this is one of the largest internet market in the world. Our economists and policy makers have used the time to turn the tables of crisis, have used the best of economic acumen to understand the need of the country. So until 91, India more or less developed its fundamentals about the strength of the economy, about the infrastructure on which the economy can be launched. And post 91, when the country saw an economic reform and liberalized the economy, it opened the doors to global markets. And that is where the crucial transformation and the entrepreneurial potential of millions of Indians came into being. Fantastic. The second element I would touch upon is the education from a limited access in 1947 to a knowledge superpower. India is a superpower today. In 1947, the literacy rate was over 80%, and today we have changed the numbers. Today, the literacy rate is over 80%. Right through the beginning of our journey since 47, India's leader, irrespective of all political classes, India's leaders have prioritized education as a means of nation building, and that has set the stage today for dramatic transformation. Whether it was right to education in 2009, if you walk around the street of India in the morning, all you see is children of all ages, of all economic class, rushing towards their school. Their parents are dedicated to ensure that their children get the best of the education. It is a fantastic sight to see the uniform-clad children of India, the future of India, rushing to the school with aspirations inspired by the policy of education in India. More than 1,000 universities, 40,000 colleges dot across the country, and it is the world's third largest higher education system. Every year, 3.5 lakh students enroll in different institutes, including the IITs, the IIMs. These are world-class premier institutions, and they have earned global recognitions for their excellence in education and research. Our national digital library and the massive open line courses free. It only provides access to millions of students with good quality, high quality education from wherever in the country. The Digital India has also facilitated the spread of e-learning. These only signify the India's resolve to educate the population, the billion population, to imbibe the seed of science and technology and the power of reasoning into the education. The result is that India has emerged as a global knowledge superpower, and it is contributing significantly to the research and development. In fact, I would say that Indians rank third globally in terms of number of scientific publications they are doing, whether they are in India or they are outside India. Girl education or the midday meal program, they are second to none. We don't find these kind of positive discrimination and support system in any other developing or developed countries for that matter. Our policy, our aspiration to get educated is a source of immense pride for us Indians. And our education system has been the source of transformative power of education in shaping our country's destiny. The third element I would like to point out is about the science and the technology mindset. We are a global leader in terms of science and technology with our IITs, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Indian Space Research Organization. These are renowned center of excellence in engineering and technology and medical science. And since 50s, they have been progressing only to be envy of the world. We are launching rockets and missiles with the lowest cost ever possible among the developing world. Whether it is Mars orbiter mission, the Mangalyaan, the Chandrayaan, and the ISRO satellites, INSATs, they are remarkable success. And this success we have been building for last 78 years, step by step. We are the IT, information technology capital of the world, and our software industry contributes to $150 billion of economy globally. We have produced giants like Tata Consultancy, Infosys, Wipro, TechWem, others, and these are global players who are employing lakhs of people. And because of these large companies, there are offshoots which again are employing millions of people, millions of Indians across the world. Biotechnology is one area where we have made significant strides, and particularly it was visible, pridefully visible during the COVID-19 pandemic, where we were the leaders in global vaccination production, and we had been exporting millions of doses of vaccines across the world. Today, India is a leader, and it produces 50% of the global demand for vaccines and generic medicines. Imagine whether it was possible was 78 years ago. Nuclear energy, telecommunication, renewable energy. So we would be producing 450 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030. And the pace in which we are developing, probably we might achieve this target much before that. So it's the hard work, it's the dedication of our scientists, our engineers, and of course our policymakers, which are a testament to the vision of being a global leader in science and technology. The fourth element I would say is about our defense. And India was a vulnerable country in 1947. And today we are a strategic strength. All across the world wants India in its partnership, whether it is the Russian axis or it is the American axis. India is the sought after strategic partner. But then the history is that 20 lakh Indian soldiers with their bravery, valor and pride has been testament of Indian values in the World War II. We fought under the British flag, but then we also fought, the Indian Army fought for Azad Hind Fauj also. And the track record has been impeccable and continues to do so. There has been numerous wars from 47 with Indo-Pakistani war over Kashmir, and the Indian forces were successful in protecting the rights of the Kashmir. Today, the Indian armed forces are second largest in the world and have 14 lakh active jawans and officers defending the 1,000 miles of borders across the rough, cold Himalayan terrain or the rough seas in the south or the hot deserts in the west and the impenetrable terrains of the northeast. Pokhran 1, 1974, Pokhran 2, 1998. India has established itself as a nuclear power, and it has shown the world that it is capable of defending its sovereignty against any external threat. But then we also use this strength, India also uses this strength of nuclear doctrine, which is based on no first use, and therefore we continue to maintain a credible deterrent, a credible minimum deterrent, and this itself reflects our commitment to responsible nuclear stewardship. It is respected across the world. We have not threatened, India has not threatened any country with the nuclear armaments. We have developed indigenous fighter aircrafts, Tejas, and have advanced missile systems, many of them, Agni, Nag, BrahMos, Prithvi, many of them. And they are capable of delivering both conventional and nuclear warheads. INS Vikrant, India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, and the nuclear-powered submarines. Who would have imagined 78 years ago? Today, India is the sought-after strategic partner, and United States, Russia, France, Israel, they want to have joint military exercises with India, and they want to have a venture for advanced technology, advanced defense technologies. And on the defense political side, the Quad alliance between India, United States, Japan, and Australia, this is only a testament of India's growing role in ensuring world security and stability in the region. So India's military might and combined with diplomatic efforts has positioned the country as a key player in global security architecture. And that is a feat which is second to none. It is highly impressive of any country who have gotten independence around that time, around 1950s. The fifth element I would like to talk about is political evolution. And we were a nascent democracy in 47, but today our democratic system is an example across the world. We are a global diplomatic player, and our models of democracy, our vastness of democracy is a record-breaking example for even the developed countries to conduct its democracy. In 47, India was an infant political entity, and it had ahead of us enormous task of united a diverse and divided population, and the challenges were immense, like poverty, illiteracy, communal tensions, but then our policymakers, our leaders had integrated over 550 princely states of the Indian Union to form the Indian Union. And despite these hurdles, India did adopt a democratic constitution in 1950, and that ensured fundamental rights, equality to all its citizens, and established a framework for the governance which was based on justice, equality, and liberty. Dear friends, I would recommend to watch the making of the Constitution of India. It's a 10-part television mini-series based on the making of our robust Constitution of India. It's directed by Shyam Benegal, called Samvidhan, and Samvidhan, the making of the Constitution of India. And the producer of Apna Radio, he had a humble part to play in this television series. So I would recommend my friends to watch this television miniseries in order to appreciate the kind of hard work, the kind of vision that has gone into making the Constitution. The Constitution, today we uphold, we fight for it. We are proud about our Constitution. Today, India's political landscape have more than 25 regional parties, starting from Trinamool Congress in the east to NCP in the west, to DMK in the south, or the Communist Party in Kerala, to National Conference in Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir. There are many others in the northeast. There are many others in the middle of the country. But then it only reflects the strength and the resilience of Indian democracy, the respect of diverse opinions, of policies. And this is a strength which has come in a mature democracy we have been able to secure since 47. There had been times where there has been threat to the democracy, but then as Indians, we have stood united to overcome those troubled times. And also with this resolve, we will be able to protect our constitution, our democratic rights, our Indian democracy in future too. Non-aligned movement during the Cold War, we have emerged as a global player in governance, and the strength that we have derived from our strong democratic principles is that India is now able to advocate reforms in international institutions like United Nations. India has been able to form a significant role in BRICS organization, in G20, or in Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And we are developing strategic partnerships with both the United States and Russian axis, including our dominance in the South Asia region. Salute to the Indian Army. Under diplomatic flag, Indian Army has done 49 United Nations peacekeeping missions and have contributed nearly 260,000 troops over these 78 years. And Indian Army has been in complex and challenging conflict zones like Korea, Congo, Cambodia, Somalia, Rwanda, Lebanon, many others. And all these places, Indian troops have served in various capabilities with staffs and officers as civilian police, as military observers, and also have been involved with humanitarian assistance, election monitoring, and reconstruction efforts in post-conflict regions. So accolades to the Indian Army, and they have been an example of India's courage and valor and bravery, not only in fighting wars, but in also establishing peace. From humble beginning as a newly independent state to a global diplomatic player, based on the strength of our constitution, based on the strength of our resolve to peace, India has shown the world the strength and the resilience of its democracy. India is a beacon of democracy for the world. Last and least, the element I would touch is the diversity. It has been under threat multiple times, but then India is renowned for its incredible cultural, religious, and linguistic diversity. There are all major religions of the world that sit respectfully in India. Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, Judaism, and with the kind of languages and dialects. So with 22 official languages, 121 languages which are spoken by more than 10,000 people, and with dialects, there are about 1,600 languages that are spoken across the country, and we are sitting together within the boundaries of India, of course spilling around the world also, but then it is the definition of Indian diversity, and that is the vibrant composition that is making this country great. From the snow-capped peaks of Himalayas, spiritual sun-kissed shores of Kanyakumari, where Vivekanand Rock Memorial reminds the world of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Every corner of the country is a sacred land. Our diversity is not just the identity, but our strength. India is a beacon of hope in the world, today's world, which is divided by differences. India demonstrates the spirit of togetherness, and this togetherness has been there for thousands of years of shared history, and that makes India as just not a country, but a living, breathing celebration of humanity. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. So, dear friends, thank you for your time and attention. We are a story of resilience, determination, and progress. This remarkable transformation of 78 years is a source of immense pride for all of us Indians. It also reflects our country's commitment for its billion people to make it prosperous, inclusive, secular, and to have a secure future for everybody residing within these borders. As we look to the future, we as Indians stand poised to continue our ascent on the global stage. It has to be guided by our rich cultural heritage, democratic values of us Indians. Therefore, our journey is far from over, but then best is yet to come. Jai Hind.
You are listening to 93.9 Dublin South FM.
Broadcasting from the Dundrum Town Centre, this is Dublin South FM.